Okay, guys, as promised, here is one of my old, hey, Shugi. Here is one of my old prepping buckets. Now, this bucket is, I would assume, at least 10 years old. The stuff in there could be a little older. I've been putting stuff in buckets for about 15 years, or about 15 years ago, I was putting stuff in buckets. So we're going to open it up and see what's in there. I can assure you it has not been opened in the last 10 years. And for all of you out there wondering whether you got to have all this big expensive equipment or not to prepare and put some food back, here's going to be your answer. Because 10, 15 years ago, I didn't have dehydrators and freeze dryers and vacuumers, and I didn't want to spend the money for jars and all that kind of good stuff, so I went with the basics and just put some food up. And I didn't get rid of this stuff, guys. I just set it up, and basically I didn't forget about it, but I knew it was there, and if we ever needed it, here it was. So I'm going to open it up and show you what we got. It is raining a little bit. Now, my mom, before she passed, also put some food up back in stuff like this. And this actually looks like one of her buckets. And here's a little list of what was in this, apparently. And whether or not it's still good or not, I have no idea. But some hot sauce, and let me look here and see if there's a date on this. Possibly tell me how old it is. It is Pace. Alright, here's a date. I ain't gonna be able to see that without a light. Alright, it looks like this jar of Pace right here. Let's make sure, because I don't want to fib. Okay. I know there's probably no way that is going to show up in that camera, but if you could possibly see that date right there, it says 2011 Best Buy. All right, 2011 on this jar of hot sauce. Okay, so we're looking at a 12 to 13-year-old bottle of Pace hot sauce sitting in that bucket. It's been hot, it's been cold, it's been around, it's been everywhere, in and out. But I want to show you here. We're going to open this up and take a bite of it. I'm going to set it over here to the side just so you know I ain't switching nothing out, but I want to see what else is in this bucket here. Lots of condiment-sized ketchups. More picante. Looks kind of like a condiment bucket. Stuff put back. Ketchup. 4 cheese Rosa. Doesn't look too bad. Again, I'm sure it's far out of date. Maybe, we'll see. Jalapenos still look nice and green. Don't see anything out of the ordinary with those. Jalapenos. Again, peppers. You can see some of those lids have a little rust on them, maybe from some moisture that was in the bucket. But overall, in not too bad a condition. There are some pickles. Still don't look too bad. And some cheesy sauce. Doesn't look too bad. Peppers. Looks like some old Walmart stuff. don't know that I would trust that or not, but actually this lid here has a seal on it that has been popped. I will take that off and show you the problem with saving food like this for a long time, even though it's in a jar. Some olives, still don't look too bad. And let's see here, best by 2014. So it looks like those olives may only be 7 to 8 years old. Some hot sauces. Hot sauces. Don't be afraid to stock your spices, guys, because if you got all them beans and rice, they're gonna start to taste pretty bad after a little while, and you want to be able to sauce them up. More cheese sauce. Example, again, the lid here has a popper on it that is popped, which signifies it's no longer good. And then there are some where the lids are still good. Okay, pretty much same product. Best by February 2005. So that one would almost be wow, 15, 18 years old. Still good in that jar. Who knows? You're starving. Are you going to give it a shot? And more stuff. Lid sealed. And that's basically what was in that bucket. A bunch of store-bought canned goods. Now, there are probably a few in here that I would try and eat and taste, worth the risk if I was definitely starving and hungry. And there's probably a few that I would not, just because of the condition of the lid. I'm going to take this off of there and show you why I would not try one of these jars. The product actually does not smell bad in there, but you can see the seal was broken. There is some mold and stuff there around the top, so I definitely would not eat this. If there was nothing else and you were starving, all I could tell you is to cook the living hell out of it. All right. But let me see if this top up here, you can see there's stuff caked to the top, and what I want to show you is underneath that. Okay. And I don't know how well it's going to show up in the camera, but this area here appears to me to be the area that probably rusted through and around in here. And on the inside of the can, you can see right over here, that is the hole that rusted through on the metal portion of the lid. And this old food in these jars and in the cans, this is typically going to be the problem, guys. If the food comes in contact with this metal lid, it's going to eventually eat through this lid. There's nothing that you can do about that. That's why it's very important to keep the jars and your food upright and really not moving around, because you do not want the liquid getting on these lids. All right. This one that's steel sealed, I would not mind opening that and giving that a try. I would eat the olives, probably the pickles, the pace here, definitely. And to show you, I'm gonna pick up some 12-year-old Pace Picante. Let me go get something to eat it with.
Hopefully it doesn't make you sick.
Yeah, we'll try with some chips. Okay, I'm gonna make sure here. I don't want to misrepresent. Where did that, there it is. 2011. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but 2011. Okay. First thing I do when I open old food is look at the lid to see if I can see any degradation in the metal itself. And all of this up here is actually just dried looking goo. I don't see any damage to the lid, and of course there's not going to be any damage to the glass. The glass will last forever. This is the weak point of all of your prepared food. Even if you're canning your own food, this lid, metal lid, is the weak point, and that seal. All right, but 13 years in this jar, and this is no different than the jar that you can make at home. All right. The second test is the smell. Smells pretty much like a Pace Picante. And normally, a good thing to do when you're opening old food like this is just set it out on the counter and wait 10 or 15 minutes. If there's some bacteria or something in it, the food is bad, it will generally start to react within that 10 or 15 minutes. You'll see some kind of change. And obviously the smell is a good indicator. But for your 12-year-old Picante there, actually pretty good. Tastes just like a Pace Picante. I won't show you my ugly mug eating there, but it's good enough, and I trust it enough. My little girl wants to try it, so to get a chip in there. What's it taste like?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce? There you go. 13 years in a jar, and it's still good. And I'd be willing to bet that a lot of this other stuff in these jars are good, and I would not be afraid to eat it at all. Okay, so actually I'll throw that in the fridge or cook something with it later, so it don't go to waste. But any food that I come across that is questionable to me, we've still got a use for it here. The chickens will eat it, the pigs will eat it, the dogs will eat it, and nothing goes to waste. Again, guys, don't be afraid. You know, just because the best by date says it's no good doesn't mean it's no good. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay safe, be aware, stay prepared, guys. Thanks. Like, share, and subscribe. More to come.